All right, Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. It's Brother Kalak Ayash. And before I get started, of course, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Malak Yahushai, Yahweh, who the world inwardly calls God, but the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. Again, and it means He exists. The true name of the only begotten Son is Yahweh Shai, and it means He to deliver. The Most High God, Yahweh, sent His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, to redeem, to deliver, to reconcile, to bring back the children of Israel, which the children of Israel are the so-called black, Hispanic, Native American man, woman, and child. Shalom to the house of David. Shalom to the hopeful elect. And double honors to the elders that paved the way, that laid the foundational work after Yahweh Shai, the disciples, their elders before them. And taught us the things that was pleasing unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And we have just entered into their labors and enduring and waiting for Yahweh to send Yahweh Shai a second time to establish His righteous kingdom upon this earth. Shalom, shalom, shalom. So, we're commanded to keep the fruits of the Spirit. Now, all throughout this Bible, we have commandments, and the commandments are just not in the Old Testament. And also, too, I want to demonstrate through the Spirit that the fruits of the Spirit is not a New Testament concept. It's also in the Old Testament. So I just want to go into it. I'm going to start Galatians chapter 5 and verse number 6. This I said, and walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. So knowing that there's an internal war going on between the lust and the flesh, between the flesh and the Spirit, you have to move in the fruits of the Spirit. So you have to ask yourself daily, do I have the fruits of the Spirit? Because again, we are commanded to do these things. The Lord said, lo, I come in the volume of the book. So we're commanded to be in a joyful spirit, at peace with ourselves, at peace with the ones amongst us, at peace with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, knowing that we're striving to do the best we can to serve them. If not, you're serving the flesh. Right? There's no in between. There's no gray area with the Most High. Verse number 18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, and heresies, envyings, murders, and drunkenness, revelings, and such the like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in times past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Salakia. And that's everything that goes on in Babylon the Great, that Paul just named. Literally everything. So how do we combat these things? By walking in the Spirit. But verse number 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, which love is an Old Testament concept, and we're going to get into it. Joy, same thing. Joy is a new... See, these concepts weren't introduced in the New Testament. So that was the thing. We're commanded to keep them, and I want to show and demonstrate through the spirit of power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that these things were in the so-called Old Testament. Peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, and faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. So there's no law against these things. Meaning we have to keep them. Because again, they're commanded, and they're also kept in the OT. So I got some precepts written down, and I want to get it. Of course, I got to get the classic. Leviticus chapter 19. But before I do, I want to get Psalms 40. Psalms chapter 40 and verse number 7. Then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me, I delight to do thy will, O my power. Yea, thy law is within my heart. So, again, the Lord, we're commanded to do everything that's written in these in this whole roll. We're commanded to do because it's about Yahweh Shai. So strive to read the whole. You would have to know, to fully know the Lord. You got to read the whole Bible. But prior to the coming of the second coming of Yahweh Shai, what if the Lord asked you if you read the whole Bible? What are you going to tell him? Then he said, okay, I understand. Well, what's your excuse? What's your excuse on why you haven't read the whole roll? So that's just food for thought. But also, I want to go back to Leviticus 19 just to demonstrate love. Leviticus 19 and verse number 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahweh. So just in this commandment alone, the Lord is trying to show us love. He told us to love our neighbor as ourselves, but he told us how. So the Lord was teaching us the fruits of the Spirit all along, but we just didn't get it. We couldn't grasp the concept. Also, too, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse number 5. And verse number 4. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one. And thou shalt love Yahweh thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So he said, love me. But how do you love me? Teach my commandments. Drill them in your mind. Become what I told you. Love me by doing what I told you to do, and love your brother doing as I commanded. Not what the Christians call love. The spirit that Christians push, love, is a way a man is supposed to love his wife. That's off. That's error. All right, so now we got love. Let's go to joy. Let's go to Nehemiah 10. Nehemiah chapter 10 and verse number, what did I have there? I must have didn't put it down. Nehemiah chapter 10 and where is it? That's all right, I wrote the wrong precept down, but for the sake of time, I'm going to go to 2 Samuel 6. 2 Samuel chapter 6 and verse number 14. And David danced before Yahweh with all his might. Is that what I wanted? How I keep writing these wrong precepts down? Salakia. 2 Samuel 6 and 14. And it was so that when they had bare the ark of Yahweh, had gone 6 paces, he sacrificed oxen and fatlings. And David danced before Yahweh with all his might, and David was girded with the linen ephod. So David and all his house and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of Yahweh with shouting and with the sound of the trumpet. So David danced with joy. David had joy. The Lord delivered us on many things. The Lord provides for us. So we're supposed to be in a loving spirit. And we're supposed to be, not always dancing like David. Nobody could dance like David anyway. But we're supposed to be in the spirit of joy, because the Lord, not only does he deliver us daily, the Psalms say, blessed be Yahweh our power, who daily loadeth us up with benefits, paraphrasing. So we're supposed to be in a joyful spirit every day, knowing that and everything that the Lord is doing on the earth right now, the Lord is doing it to deliver us a second time. So David was in a joyful spirit. Well, we got peace. Numbers chapter 6 and 25. Numbers chapter 6 and verse number 25. Yahweh bless thee. 24. Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. So the Lord said, look, when his countenance is upon us, he'll give us peace. So we got love, we got joy, we got peace, all in the Old Testament. Paul just introduced it again, but we're supposed to be keeping these things. So the Lord showed us how to love each other. The Lord showed us how to love him. We demonstrated King David in a joyful spirit. And if you're doing all these things, if you're doing these things, the Lord will he will rest the spirit of peace upon you, a peace of mind and where you rest at. The Lord said he'll make his enemies to be at peace with you. Let me get that. When a man's ways please Yahweh, even a man's enemies at peace with him. Proverbs chapter 16 and 7. When a man's ways please Yahweh, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So why you don't want to, hey, look, just keep the fruits of the spirit. Your enemies will be at peace with you. Who don't want that? A couple more. Love, joy, peace. Let me go to what I got. I got Isaiah 26 and 3. For the sake of time, I'm not going to hit all of them. Isaiah chapter 26 and verse number 3. That will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Trust ye in Yahweh forever, for in the Lord Yahweh is everlasting strength. So the Lord, if you trust in the Lord, again, he'll give you peace. Every true man wants peace. Let me go to Exodus 35. Exodus 35. What was that? Verse number 6. Exodus 35, verse number I don't know. I was typing these too fast. I don't know why I got Exodus 35. Let me go to Proverbs 14. Proverbs 14 and verse number 29. Temperance, right? So we see a temperance being demonstrated. He that is slow to anger is great of understanding, but he that is of a hasty spirit exalteth folly. So even in the book of Proverbs, the Lord was showing us how to have temperance, to rule over your spirit. And again, it's important. It's important to have temperance. And it just wasn't introduced in the book of Galatians. It's all throughout the Bible. So we have temperance. We have David being merciful, which is a sign of goodness. Let me get that. Second time. It's not gonna come up. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this is when Saul got delivered to David. So this is a act of King David being gentle and good, and also long suffering. A man after Yahweh's own heart. 1 Samuel 26 and 7. So David and Abishai came to the people by night, and behold, Saul lay sleeping within the trench, and his spear stuck in the ground at his bolster. But Abner and the people lay round about him. Then said Abishai to David, Yahweh hath delivered thy enemy into thy hand this day. Now therefore let me smite him, I pray thee, with the spear even to the earth at once, and I will not smite him the second time. And David said to Abishai, destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against Yahweh's anointed and be guiltless? So that's a beautiful. King David had the fruits of the spirit. He was long suffering. He was gentle in that point. That's a demonstration of goodness, meekness, temperance. That was all of them. Love. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. So this the attributes in the spirit that we have to have, that we're commanded to keep. A couple more. Oh, faith. Of course, the classic. We go into this often, especially the times that we're living in. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse number 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So even in the Old Testament, we're commanded to live by faith. Now, where in the Old Testament can you go and show, well, you can show accounts, but we're not commanded to be faithful. Now, the Lord told us, but he didn't break it down. He sent Yahweh to break it down on how to be faithful, because that was the main thing. One of the many and main things that the Lord taught was he was getting on us for our lack of faith. Oh, faithless generation. When the Son of Man comes, shall he find faith on the earth? So faith is very important. And again, this is being demonstrated in the so-called OT. And Abraham had faith. Genesis 15 and 16. Genesis chapter 15 and verse number 6. And he believed in Yahweh, and he counted it to him for righteousness. So faith and belief, they go hand in hand. So our righteousness is going to be by our faith, not by our works. Faith and works. You can't have one without the other. And again, faith is a part of the fruits of the Spirit. That the Lord is one of the things that the Lord is requiring of us. So we got, of course, Numbers 12. You got to be meek. Numbers chapter 12 and verse number 3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which are upon the face of the earth. So here it is again. The Lord, all throughout the Old Testament, the Lord was leaving breadcrumbs on how to have love, joy, peace, meekness, faith, temperance, long suffering, all throughout the Old Testament. So again, we have to tap into this, and then the Lord will reward you. The Lord will reward you for exercising the fruits of the Spirit. Mind you, the Lord said, put on as the elect. That's something you physically have to do when you don't feel like it. You have to put the fruits of the Spirit on like your favorite garment. Like your favorite hair wrap, you got to put these things on. You got to do it. Got to do it. So let me get, I think I touched on temperance, but I'll get it again. Proverbs chapter 16 and verse number 23. Proverbs 16 and 23. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. That's not what I wanted, but Hey, look, these words, these fruits of the spirit are health to our bones. It's the food and the health that we need, and the nourishment that we need is the words of this Bible. This is what we need. So I'll end off with this. Isaiah 42 and 13. And Lord, when I touched on all of them, I believe I did. Isaiah 42 and 13. Because the Lord said what? The Lord has temperance. Isaiah 42 and 13. The Lord Yahweh shall go forth as a mighty man. He shall stir up jealousy like a man of war. He shall cry, yea, roar. He shall prevail against his enemies. I have long time holding my peace, so the Lord is long suffering. The Lord held his peace for a long time. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, as a matter of fact, I'm going to get that. You must have the fruits of the Spirit, the main one being faith, and I'll end off on that. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. So when Yahweh Shai comes back, again, he's coming back as a hungry lion to destroy and to devour at once. And if you don't have the fruits of the Spirit when Yahweh Shai come back, it's going to be a bad day for you. What's one of the main fruit of the Spirit that the Lord is requiring? Again, faith. Luke chapter 18 and verse number 7. And shall not Yahweh avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them, though he's long suffering with us? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? Shall he find the fruits of the Spirit being exercised on the earth? So again, the fruits of the Spirit is not a New Testament concept. It's an Old Testament concept, and we're commanded to keep them. So keep them. If you believe in the Lord, you'll have the fruits of the Spirit. So I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahasham, Hamashiach, Malaki, Hawashai. Till next time, shalom to the elect. Shalom.